Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about why I will never put heat in my barn or chicken coops going into the winter season. Now, I would be filming this outside, but right now it is storming. There's quite a windstorm and we are quickly losing daylight, so I came inside to film this video for you guys. So the winter is coming. For some of you, it's already here and in full blast. Naturally, we've already began or have already completed our winter prep. And with that, we begin to become concerned about the animals that we care for and their well-being. Now, I've been in the horse industry for about a decade now, and I've worked with livestock, and I will tell you that I will never ever put heat in any of my livestock barns or chicken coops. And here's why. Number one is safety. Safety is a huge thing when it comes to heat. Whether you're using electrical heaters, oil heaters, heat lamps, whatever it may be, and all these different types of heat sources will unfortunately at some point become faulty. Now, hopefully if you do use these heat sources in your barns or chicken coops, you do catch it early enough that it does not do any damage. But this is not something that I myself will take any risk to losing animals' lives. Being in the horse industry for so long, I've seen quite a bit. And unfortunately, barn fires are way too common here because horse people, like myself, would love to keep their horses cozy and warm. And while we're doing all of the chores that are inside the barn, outside in the freezing cold, we'd like somewhere to be warm and comfortable. And then comes the heater. With that, the heater is connected either on an electrical port or an extension cord, or it can be run by an oil. Now, this is just a recipe for disaster. So I've seen a lot of barns go up in fire, and with that, I've seen also the chicken coops go on fire as well. It's very, very sad. It is devastating to know that all your hard work that is either in that barn, whether it be a horse, a cow, a sheep, a goat, or your chickens in your chicken coop, you've put a lot of effort into those animals, and I myself would not want to risk their lives. Now, if you have different opinions, let me know in the comments down below, and that's all right. We're each allowed our own opinions in this matter. Mine is that I will never put heat in a barn or a chicken coop. Number two is it's not needed. Unfortunately, when the weather becomes cold and we ourselves become cold, we then think that our animals are cold as well without checking them first. Now, some chicken breeds are prone to more frostbite, and of course you want to be aware of that. Just as with certain types of horse breeds, they also become colder quicker because their coats are completely different. And obviously there's different ways that you can supplement heat, but a heater or a heat lamp is just not one of them for us. With it not being needed for these animals to keep warm, it also costs you more money because obviously you're going to need to run it and you've had to purchase this heat source of some sort. Yeah, it costs you more money and it's not needed. And 99% of the time, animals can produce their own heat. Now, I know lots of people have their own opinions on this, but horses in specific grow a winter coat. Now, it is the rider's or owner's choice whether they're going to clip that horse or not, but they will supply, I've seen most horse owners supply blankets to their horses. I myself, in previous years with a previous horse, I supplied him lots of blankets to ensure that he was warm. Different horse breeds may not even need blankets, and that is dependent on to each horse. Now with chickens do molt in the fall into the winter. For us, we still won't supply any heat. With chickens, they need heat when they are babies. When they are fully grown, they do not need heat. With our general area of having more frigid winter, I've seen many people who own chickens around here stick to specific breeds that are less prone to getting frostbite on their extremities. So other than safety and it also not being needed, one of my top priorities as having animals is their well-being. And number one is safety for their well-being, but number two is also health. So putting heat inside a barn that is filled, or a coop, this can go either way, it's filled with dust. It is also a place where animal waste is excreted. So whether that be manure, urine from horses, there is a deep smell of ammonia if it's not cleaned very well. And even then, horses are constantly eating and pooping. Chickens are constantly eating and pooping. So you can't just constantly keep the barn immaculate. With the heat and the dust, it can actually cause breathing issues, and I've seen it time and time again where people have come from heated barns and their horse has breathing issues because it is so dry in the heated barns. If it's not done right, the horses then have breathing issues. With chickens, it can also cause the same thing. They can also have breathing issues. I've seen it also increase bacteria. So that's the other thing, is that bacteria can increase in a warm, damp environment, but also in a warm, dry environment, which then also can increase your breathing issues. So all in all, the hay, the straw, the grain, the chicken feed, it all has dust of some sort. And even if you buy the top quality, it will have some sort of dust. So dust plus heat equals health issues. With all this being said, some heated barns that are done correctly are okay. Again, I'm not going to be doing them. I've seen in some very expensive, very well-off barns where they have, when they've done the floor, they've run water lines underneath the floor, which heat up and make the heat rise through the floor, which then puts heat into the barn. And that is a safe way of heating your barn, if that is the way to go. But many people do not have that budget to heat their barn. Then they result to the plug-in heaters, which they may put too close to haylage, and it can result into disaster. The other way that you can keep your chickens, your horses, your animals warm during the winter is insulating your barn or your coop. So you can put insulation on the walls and the roof, and just ensure that whether you have a barn or whether you have a chicken coop, so barn safe insulation is really good at keeping your barn warm. Another way that I've actually used previously with horses is deep litter bedding. You can use deep litter bedding with horses to keep them warmer, keep them more comfortable, and just to keep them off the concrete floors if your barn has concrete or if they have any sort of leg issue. Same with chickens. Chickens, you can do deep litter bedding to ensure they stay warmer. My favorite way of keeping a barn or chicken coop warm, which is probably going to be one of the only ways other than insulation that we will be heating our barns, is using straw or hay to insulate the inside of the barn. Now, if you stack a whole bunch of hay bales inside a barn, and maybe this isn't really possible with your style of chicken coop, if you lay down straw at the bottom of your chicken coop, it will keep in a whole bunch of heat. Now, with these alternatives being said, any barn or chicken coop needs to be draft free. It needs ventilated. It cannot have moisture. Dampness equals cold. So you gotta make sure that you reduce all moisture when possible. And third, we wanna insulate. So you can insulate in the walls or the roof, like I said, and this will keep your chickens and your horses and whatever other livestock that you have warm. Remember, as an animal caretaker, we wanna take really good care of them, and we don't want to smother them with our love. We don't want to treat them as we would ourselves, and if we're feeling cold, it doesn't mean that they're cold. So we don't want our care to cause any health issues or problems or risk anyone's life. This is why we will never be using electric, oil, or any sort of heaters inside our barns. It's just not needed, it's not safe, and it's definitely a health risk. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit subscribe and like and comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!